G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to the Round 10 review. Hope you all had a ripper of a round yourself this week. Look, for me, it was one of those rounds where there was no major carnage, but not a lot of things seemed to go right. Round score in the end was 23.67, and I did actually go down in the rankings. Season rank now sits at 35.20, down 315 spots this week. Now, it's nothing too bad, but certainly not where I want to be at this stage of the season. But look, in regards to my trades, there was a last minute change for me. I ended up avoiding some of the rookie carnage down back. Didn't bring in either of Karmas and Thompson, which may be a little bit of a surprise. And I did decide to go 2 up, 1 down, use my last boost. But the 2 premiums that I did bring in certainly underperformed this week. So I'll talk about what trades I made in a little while. Look, I'm going to make this one pretty short and sharp because I'm right in the middle of report writing. So I'll quickly take you through my sides. I'll then show you what my buy structure is looking like, and then obviously finish off with who I'm going to trade in this week. I'm still not sure on that. Got a couple of options up my sleeve, so any feedback would be much appreciated. So as I say, guys, hope you had a great round yourself. Let's see how the team's actually looking. So in defense, I was pretty happy this week, apart from the one bloke that I actually traded in. So I did bring Sam Doherty into the side, and of course it's a week where he gets under 80, cops a bit of a knock. Yeah, a bit of a disaster pick this week. And the other bloke that I was really keen on was Jack Sinclair. But I did play a bit of the break-even game. Sinclair's break-even was around the 130 odd mark. Doherty's was closer to the 100 mark, so I thought I'll bring him in. Even though he's a little bit more expensive, he's probably the safer pick anyway, and I'll look to bring Sinclair in a couple of weeks. But made the wrong decision. It is what it is. Doherty got his 78. Got to live with that, but I hope that he'll be a good selection moving forward. I'm still pretty confident on the pick anyway, but with the other bloke, Sicily, 122, just continuing to dominate, so played really well against my boys. Plenty of intercept marks, kicked it long, absolutely fantastic. You can almost just lock a 115, 120 plus in from this bloke most weeks, can't you, at the moment, Sicily? Magnificent selection. Hewitt again, talking about locking in a good score. This bloke has not let us down once this season, apart from getting injured and not being able to get up for a couple of rounds. But again, a 120, phenomenal. You've got to have him in your side, must have. Crispy, 107, flew the flag for the Pies, played really solid game. Almost 30 touches, didn't quite get there, but lots contested. It was an absolute dog of a day condition-wise, so 107, fantastic, 105.5 for an average. Shorty, back to 110, that's what we want to see from him, playing through the midfield as well. A lot of the discussion needed. We should all have him by now. Lock that in each week, hopefully. Doherty, I've already talked about, really unfortunate trading for me this week. Paddy McCartan with an 85, so it was a matter of either McCartan, Dacos or De Koning on field this week. And I should mention as well, the obvious omission to my defensive 6 is Lockie Whitfield. I was planning on keeping him originally, but given the fact that he was out injured, he was going to miss this week. We had the upcoming bye as well. I know that Doherty shares the same bye, but I did bring him in because of that, the fact that, you know, I was relying on, or not relying, but planning on keeping Whitfield in. So Doherty having the same bye didn't really affect my structure too much. So Whitfield was obviously the man that I got out. Planning on keeping him, but injured, bye coming up. See you later, mate. So McCartan, Dacos and De Koning. Well, McCartan and De Koning, 85 apiece in the end. So you could say that I won the rookie roulette, but unfortunately De Koning scored more than my new trade in Doherty. But it is what it is. McCartan and De Koning both look fantastic. Dacos wasn't looking great at half-time, only on around 20 points, but a 45-point second half was really good from him. So at this stage, I'm just planning on keeping all 3 for a little while and then moving 2 of them on. I really want to keep Paddy McCartan for the rest of the year as cover. Will I be able to do that? It really does depend on how a couple of those other blokes score in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm hoping that I can. That might be a bit of an ideal situation, but we'll see how we go. So that's pretty much the defensive line there. Into the midfield now. So a few disappointing scores this week, and again, I just cannot get my captain right. You got Oliver, 178. Fantastic. So I've brought him in. Hasn't really let me down. Last week, the 99 wasn't great. Just under the ton there. But he bounces back this week in a big way. Didn't really have him in my captain loop. It was McRae all the way as either the captain, the vice captain, and I probably would have gone for Lockie Neal. After that 99 last week, I lost a little bit of faith in Oliver in regards to having him as my captain. So That's brilliant, though. If you ended up locking that score in, you've done really, really well. Unfortunately for me, just no good this week for the captain. But yeah, Oliver, fantastic. Neil, 100, was dominating up until half time, and then they played pretty close attention to him. Shields, in the last quarter in particular, really, really slowed him down. Didn't have much of an impact, and I think that showed on the scoreboard. Hawthorn end up coming away with the chocolates there, so congratulations to the Hawks. Brisbane just weren't up to scratch in that second half, unfortunately, and I think them clamping down on Neil had a big effect on them winning the game. McRae was my captain. Look, I looked at his scoring history against the Suns. It was 140s, 160s, 120 in there. I thought surely he'll bounce back. And this bloke was actually on 116 points during the third quarter. He went backwards big time. So he's having a bit of a habit of doing this, isn't he? Not scoring well in last quarter's Jack McRae. So extremely disappointing. I had the faith in him again. A lot of it was due to that history. So maybe a bit of a lesson learned. Just go on form, not on history. But, yep, got me this week. I suppose, on a positive note, I was going to go Neil. So, he scored 100, 4 points more there. That's okay. Miller, an absolute train wreck. Him along with Rao, who luckily I don't own. I moved on a while ago now. Just had terrible games. Just didn't use it well. Didn't get enough of it. Free kicks away. After such a bright 3 weeks, he's really let us down. But hopefully it's just one of those games. I don't know. I'm hoping that it is. But, yeah, 59. Terrible from Tuke this week. Track 114. Left a bigger score on the table. Missed a few shots on goal. So, could have been a 130 plus. But when you're comparing that to Neil, Oliver, McRae, the man Cripps I'll talk about in a minute, then that's certainly not disaster this week, and I'll take that. Cripper, 78. Second score in a row where we're a little bit concerned about him. 577,200. Still got a nice season average with that injury affected score of 115.6. So hopefully Cripper can bounce back. But yeah, these past 2 weeks, this is what we were worried about from the start with Paddy Cripps. Could he regress back to his old ways? I hope not. I'm expecting a big comeback from the man anyway. This is a bloke that I did trade in this week as well, Brayshaw. Now, to be honest, I didn't really want to do it, but at the end of the day, I was playing the break-even game with him. Break-even was right on 100. He was at a pretty decent price. He was coming up against Collingwood, who aren't the greatest midfield in the world, and I thought there might be points to score there. Didn't realise the conditions would be so terrible, and he does have the round 14 bye. So that was all part of the grand plan with bringing Brayshaw in. I would have loved to bring a Laird type in. A Parish I was probably the most keen on, but unfortunately, you've got to make what I think would be the sensible decision, and that is to go Brayshaw, trying to purchase a cheap M8 with a nice buy that fits my structure. So 94 points, 32 touches and a goal. You'd be thinking, looking at that stat line, surely this is a 115 plus, but nah, it wasn't. Only got scaled a few points for that goal. It was obviously right towards the end of the game off a 50-metre penalty. You didn't use the ball well. Trouble is the conditions were just atrocious, and this bloke's time on ground, it was so frustrating. I think it was about 67% at three-quarter time. Spent like 13 minutes solid on the bench in one slot, and it was just like, get this man on, can you? And I understand sometimes when the ball's on and the play's on the other side of the ground that you can't do it, but just super frustrating this week. I'm hoping he comes good, Brayshaw. McDonald I used as a loop wisely in the end, so did take McCombs 78 as an emergency. I thought that was safer than rolling the dice playing Clark, so won that in the end. Clark, yeah, well, we're not as confident on him now, are we? I thought he'd be a great bloke just to bring in, have as that on-field option for a little while until I completely upgrade my midfield. Chuck him there at M8, but with 50s in the last couple of weeks, it's not fantastic, is it? After that 100 we saw in his first game. Carroll, 38, disappointing, but made a little bit of coin, and at least he's playing, unlike Hamilton, that some teams unfortunately brought in as well. Want to zoom through this now. Look, the Rucks, this is really unfortunate. Prusy out with the virus, I think it was. Hayes came in for me with a 72. Okay, I suppose, but I was looking for a 90 plus, particularly with Stanley out. I thought Stanley's out, this is great for Hayes. Look, it's okay, but yeah, wanted a little bit more. And this man, Jared Witt's officially the R1 this year, 131 points after what Gawn's been putting up. This is just, it's so good to own this man, particularly when I bought him in for 380k. And when I was looking at his fixture as well, his 3 lowest scores this year where he's gone under the ton does not face those sides again, which is, yeah, pretty handy, I think, as well. Doesn't face Gorn. And his fixture, if you look at it, some of the opponents he's coming up against, he should absolutely feast. So I love owning this man. And the big question now is, if you don't own Wits or Gorn, which one do you go? You'd probably lean towards Wits at the moment. And my plan to bring in Max Gorn in round 12, I'm not too sure anymore because, well, I wanted Bruce to appreciate in value a little bit more, and him not playing this week really does affect that. It does hurt me. And Gorn in current form, do I really want him in my side over someone like a Bruce? Probably not. So that changes things a little bit in regards to my future planning, but we'll come to that bridge when we need to cross it. And the forward line, so we've got Dunkley, 116, fantastic. I didn't think that he'd end up scoring as much as what McRae did, but hit the score, which is nice. Take that every day of the week. Parker, 112, again, solid score from him, 540k, averaging 103.4 for the season. This man, Will Brodie, a couple of people asked me in the Q&A last week, is he a keeper? Do you need to bring him in? And look, I said I'm viewing him as a keeper, but is he a must trade in? Nah, I don't think he is. At 525,000 now, he's made around 300k. His average now for the season is 105.4. We think Fife's coming in about 2 weeks. So that was always the concern with this pick, but in current form, he's absolutely killing it if you don't have him. If you haven't had him at any stage of the season, whether or not you didn't start with him or haven't traded him in, wow, you'd be really, really hurting at the moment. So just loving this selection, Will Brodie. Heaney, I don't think he's going to be a top 6 forward at the moment with the options that we'll have available soon. Butters, 118. This man has bounced back for 2 weeks in a row. I did keep the faith with him, and I did, well, obviously keep him over Cogs, but keeping this man, Nick Martin, over Cogs was absolutely the wrong decision. I think he's close to a must trade out this week. His break even will be over 110, might be close to 115, I think. Haven't checked that yet. I've just literally jumped straight onto Supercoach. So, yeah, 49 on field when I could have had Cogs there with his, 140. That's a 90-point turnaround. Ouch, really, really hurts. When you're thinking about those overall rankings, 100 points, 90 points, yeah, it means big things. And then you look at someone like a Jack Sinclair, who I was really close to bringing in over a Doherty. There's an extra, 50, 60 points, rounded off to 150 overall. Yeah, I'm probably inside the top 3,000 there, aren't I? So a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Roses, wow, this is looking like an absolute train wreck again, but really saved things in last quarter. A couple of nice goal assists, kicked a goal himself, and some really intelligent tap-ons. He's a smart little player, Roses, but it seems like he really drifts in and out of the game and has long patches where he doesn't have an impact. But when he does have an impact, I think that, yeah, those points do go on the board for him. So 51, his break-even's coming down. Maybe forced to trade him earlier than I wanted, though, unfortunately. And Rioli, 67. This young man really bounced back this week. Played his role extremely well. Hit the scoreboard with a couple of goals. I was expecting him to in the Dreamtime round. So well done, son. Great to see him keep his spot. And well done, Dimmer, for keeping the faith. Surely he holds his spot now for the next couple of weeks and can cover during the buys. So well done, mate. That was fantastic. So I'll just go out a little bit so we can see the team. I'll show you what my buy structure is looking like. So, and then we'll get into the trade. So, playing round 12. At the moment, we've got, well, just say 1, 2, 3 missing, but 2 covering. So 1 down there. In the midfield, we've got, well, only the 1 down, so that's okay. And then the plan is with McDonald hopefully playing. We don't know this, but hopefully playing. That I'll just move him into the forward line there with Roses covering as well. So McComb comes on there, McDonald goes up, Clark comes on, and then Roses comes on. So I'll be full in the forward line with the current players that I've got, mind you. This is not including trades that I'll make. I'll be 1 down in the rucks, but again, the plan originally was to bring Gawn in. Will I do that? I'm not too sure. So possibly none down in the ruck if I do bring in Gawn, but I don't think I will at this stage. But only 1 probably down in the back line. So looking good. at the moment. Then we'll go to the next round, round 13. See how we're looking here. So again, with current players, I'm full down back. In the midfield, am I looking dicey? Well, you got Carroll that comes on. I'm one down there, so not too bad. Covered in the rucks, and then Rolly comes on. I'm two down. So again, not too bad. Still can field 18 players. And then we look at the last buy, which is 14, obviously. I'll be one down there in the back line, but by this stage, Dacos hopefully will be upgraded, so not too concerned there. In the midfield, I'm relying... Oh, sorry, going a bit nuts there. I'm relying on a few rookies, but let's just say 1, 2, 3 all play. 1, 2, 3 come on. I'll be two down there. But again, this is round 14. Lots of these players will be moved on. In the ruck, I'm more than okay. Will I even use Hayes to invest in there? Who knows? We'll see what happens. And then, yeah, obviously it's full in the forward line there, but a few players will change. So, on to trades this week. I'll just get out of the buys. So this is what I'm thinking. Nick Martin, his break even at the moment is not looking great. Let's see what it is. So 116. So 116, almost a must trade out. But again, I said that about Cogs last week, and he ended up going well. Look, what I'm thinking is the fact that McCartan and De Koning are actually pretty decent on-field options for rookies at the moment. So I've got faith in fielding both of these guys. Dacos, not as much faith, but I want to keep on to him because he'll be really good coverage during the buys. I was really impressed with a rookie this week, plays for the Dogs, talking about Luke Cleary. So if he manages to keep his spot, and I'm a little bit less confident after a couple of really good chats I had on Twitter about this guy, not because of his performance, but the fact that Jure may come straight back into the side. Excuse me. That's not great. I thought that West may go out and Cleary keeps his spot, but there's a few question marks on that, different roles, etc. So we'll see what happens here. But if he does keep his spot, I think what I'll do, and this is one trade that I will definitely make, I think, if Cleary plays, is I'll get Martin out, and then I'm going to use some DPP. So I'll get Koning up there, and then get Cleary in. And this will give me over 500k in the bank, which is really, really handy, particularly for upgrades during the buys. So my internet has been so slow lately. Don't know what's going on with it. So I'll make that trade there. And how much do we have? 505k. So basically the only sacrifice I'm making there in making all of that cash in the bank is getting Martin off field and putting De Koning on field just for a week or maybe two anyway. So that'll give me 505k in the bank. And I've obviously got enough money for a big upgrade somewhere. I don't necessarily want to upgrade this week though, because the buys are coming up. Now the bloke that I did miss out on last week is Jack Sinclair. So I've got a couple of moves I can make. I can get Roses out this week, use some DPP, get McDonald up here and bring Jack Sinclair in. That'll open up some DPP between my midfield and my defensive line. But at the same time as well, I'll lose that DPP from my mid to my forward, bring McDonald up. So I'm not overly keen on doing that. I don't really want to trade De Koning at this stage or McCartan. I'm not keen on trading Dacos. Originally, what I was going to do with this money, if I didn't get Doherty this week and I was decided to get Thompson or Karmas, would have had a lot of money in the bank, is to upgrade McComb to like a Parish type around his buy. But that's something that I may do, but I'm really keen on Sinclair. So I could leave it like this, or else the plan would probably be, I think it's got to be Roses. I'd be tempted to do Dacos, but that just throws my buy structure out a little bit. So let's just say that it is Roses. I'll trade him out. It could be De Koning as well, but I'm just not quite sure. If I trade De Koning out, then I'm going to have to field someone dodgy at F6, which I really don't want to do. So the easy thing to do would be to swap here and then go with a Sinclair. And there is method in the madness here. I've already sort of checked out my buy structure, and I think that this can work. And it sounds a little bit crazy just trading him in for 1 week, but I wasn't expecting him to go so well and actually beat his break even. I thought he may be around his price after his buy, but yeah, because he scored so well, I don't think that will be the case anymore. So the other thing that this allows me to do is get Clark, McComb off field. I'm not as confident on Greg Clark as I said before. I'm much more confident on someone like De Koning at the moment. So if I look at my buys now, if I go back to this, so just for now, I'll get Sinclair back. So that's my defensive line complete now. I would love for that to be it. So I'd love to keep McCartan there as cover for the year. Again, maybe wishful thinking with my situation. We'll see what happens there. But Sicily, Hewitt, Crisp, Short, Doherty and Sinclair, I'm pretty happy with them. Obviously missing a Stewart there, which isn't ideal. Dawson's been in really good form, so I'm missing those two blokes, but overall, I'd be pretty happy with that. So that would be complete. I'd need the one upgrade here, so I've got Dacos there at the moment, but again, I'd probably just put Sinclair back and McCartan on field for now. So one upgrade needed there. I'd like that to be a Parish type, if possible. Do I even need to upgrade here? If I do decide to go up to Gawn, then it won't cost me a lot of cash. Projecting that Bruce continues to score 100 plus, and Gawn, well, his break-even's massive at the moment and not in great form, so I'm hoping that will cost me between, 50 to 100k, I think realistically. We'll see what happens there. So let's just say I do need to upgrade there. That's 1, 2, and then one more there, 3. And how many trades have I got? I've got 14 with 180k left in the bank. So I think I'm in a pretty comfortable spot at the moment. De Koning, he's got a little bit more money to make. McComb has a little bit more money to make. Hopefully I can flip him around his buy. Dacos is losing a little bit of money, but is good coverage during the buy. So you're probably not interested by now, but I'll just show you my buy structure in case you are. This is what it would look like. So a little bit dangerous here, but again, I'll just do this. So I'll have 2 there covering, so I'll be 1 down in the midfield, hopefully 2 covering. I'm none down, so only 1 down my defensive line at the moment. Possibly 1 down there if I don't go Gawn, so that'd be 2 down, and then McDonald will obviously come in there, so that'll be 20 playing, all good there. And that is, remember, bringing Sinclair into the side, who does have that buy. Still having 20 playing, I think, is okay to bring Sinclair in. Then the next buy in the middle buy, you've got 6 playing there. You've got Carroll coming on, so 1 spot down there. But again, I'm hoping to upgrade McComb, so possibly no spots down. Got both the rucks playing, and then 1, 2 come in, 1, 2. I'm 2 spots down there. So again, got more than the 18 players, looking all cool. And then by round 14 at this stage, I'll have those 2 coming in. Sinclair will be down back, so I'll just bring Dacos in there. 1, 2, 3 to come on. 1, 2, 3. So I'm 2 down there, which isn't great, but one of those blokes will be upgraded. Finally the rucks, find the forward. So still got 18 each round, so there's no round where I'm really, really struggling. So things are balancing out at the moment. And when I have been making my trades lately, the buys have been a heavy focus. So look, I'll leave it there for now, guys. That's how the team's looking. That's how my buy structure's looking, and they're the trades I'm possibly looking to do this week. I may not even choose to get Sinclair in, may just go down to Cleary. And look, if Cleary isn't named this week, then it may just be a Martin to Sinclair using some DPP. Not even sure if I can do that. I'll have to see what happens. Hopefully no more carnage during the week in regards to injuries. So, yep, that's it for now, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon with the stock market video, hoping to upload that by Wednesday night. So, take care, guys. All the best. I'll see you then. Bye.